Hello, and today I will be talking about my favorite film of 1985, as well as my 8th all-time favorite movie, and my all-time favorite family film. A lot of people may not agree that this is a family movie, but that's how I've always seen it. And that is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Released in, 40 years ago today, so 1985, August 9th, 1985. Excuse me, I gotta get these giggles out. Okay, come on, Sam, do it together. Okay. This was introduced to me on home video. Until I saw this movie, I had never even heard of Pee Wee Herman. This film actually introduced a lot of stuff to me. My brother is the one who got me to watch it. He was talking about it. We watched it in the living room, and boy, was I getting freaked out what was going on. Because this guy, Pee Wee Herman, I'm like, who is this guy? I've never seen anything like this before. A man acting like a little boy, wearing that suit, lipstick, the hair like that, always giggling and all that. I'm like, what is this guy? And well, the answer is a man-child. Oh, man. There was an incident that happened. My brother was waiting for this moment, and I'll get to that later. Okay. The movie is about him just trying to go get his bicycle that got stolen from him. It's his favorite possession, and he wants it back. You always want back your favorite possession. I would want back my favorite possession, no matter what it would take. Except for trying to go in outer space on the other side of the universe, and then taking on a band of evil aliens. I was like, you know what? You guys can keep that. I'm pretty sure I can get another one on Earth. Okay. It opens up with a dream sequence. He's just dreaming he's running a bike race. He wins. He wakes up. And you see his cool man-child room. He's got the alarm clock. When he pulls it activates. It's on a string. It turns on the record player. He's got the bunny slippers. He does the joke where you're lifting those small weights, but he's acting like they weigh a ton. We then learn that he definitely is a man-child. He's when the fire truck crashing into Mr. Potato Head, almost hitting the treasure troll, shooting the little dinosaur head, and then going down that pole, and when he goes down, he's magically now wearing his outfit. Now, I saw this before I started watching the Batman Adam West shows, so when it comes to that pole, to them going down, I haven't seen that show in so long, so if they didn't do that, then that means I flat out forgot. But if they did do that, then I saw Pee-wee's Big Adventure do this first. You go down the pole with one set of clothes and come down with another set of clothes, and I love his house. It's just man-child heaven. Oh, man, is it man-child heaven. The kitchen, where how he cooks his breakfast with all those gadgets. And then, of course, when he goes to his bathroom, he sniffs at the window for the fresh air. And it's a fish tank. He starts goofing around while brushing his teeth, putting on a tape. And when he does his weight, first force says, don't leave the house today. And, well, if he would have obeyed that, then this movie would have ended right there. That one warning could have prevented everything that happened. Well, he goes to his breakfast. He says pancake, bacon, egg, strawberry, even a pancake face, toast with butter. And morning Mr. Breakfast, and he pours the Mr. T cereal. He eats like 3 pieces of Mr. T cereal, put the 3 fingers up, scout for 3. And he just watches it out later, like, what the heck did you make all that other stuff for? You just wasted a bunch of good food. Maybe Speck ate it while he was gone. Yeah, he's got a dog named Speck. Speck is barely in the movie, though, and I mean barely in the film. Okay, so he has no canine sidekick that goes with him. For all you who still haven't seen it, there is a dog in it, but no, he's not in the movie that much. Okay, on his way out, before he leaves, he waters his lawn, and then he does the old spy stuff, opens up a piece of part of his house, types in the secret code, and all this stuff. And then the detail changes. He goes walking around, grabs that tree bench, and then the bench slides up, and there's his bicycle. And I'm okay. He does the old shining it, and then he heads off. But as he's about to head off, he runs into Francis. Now, people label him as the main villain, but he is barely in the movie. But he's one of the number of antagonists this movie has. Like 2 of them. Yeah, and they're both barely in the movie. So, in my opinion, this movie really has no central main villain. There are 2 bad guys, but they're barely in the film, and that's about it. They don't do that much, for the record. Okay. Francis wants to buy Pee-wee's bike. Pee-wee tells him it's not for sale. And this is what introduced me to that line, I know you are, but what am I? I never heard that until I saw this movie. So, like I said, this introduced a lot of stuff to me. Okay. He puts Francis down. Francis gets mad. Francis says, you'll be sorry, Pee-wee Herman. Pee-wee then goes riding off into the park. He sees some guys showing off on their bikes, so he, of course, mimics them. He crashes, which does not damage his bike, thankfully. But when he crashes in front of a bunch of kids who were watching him, and he just stands up and says that notable line, I meant to do that. He goes off to get some supplies at this magic shop. But before he goes, he changed his bike up around one of those waiting clowns. This had a movie mistake that me and my brother both saw. This is like notable to us, but it's the first ever movie mistake we saw. When he's pulling the chain out, you can see the chain underneath going in. Why is he pulling it out? This is available in the VHS version of the film back in the mid 80s. But as time went on, I guess Tim Burton got sick of people seeing that, so he asked them to just crop it up a bit, which they did for the DVD release, which is what I got. So the movie mistake was removed from the movie. This actually bothered me and my brother because, once again, this was the first movie mistake we ever saw, and the fact that it's no longer available unless you find an old copy of the VHS, it's kind of a disappointment that they removed it. I'm like, just keep it in there, okay? It's not really hurting anything. Well, it didn't happen. Okay, Pee-wee goes to the magic shop, buys these supplies, but I don't even know why they even bothered introducing the boomerang bow tie. He never uses it. This is why, okay, this is one of those things that you think all the stuff that he gets there, he's going to be using on his trip later on. He only uses the headlight glasses, and that's about for one lousy scene, which is meant to be a joke, and that's it. All the other stuff is just filler, okay? He buys it, and he never uses it. He then goes to the bike shop to get a horn for his bike. Now, the woman who has the horn is Dottie. She likes him. He keeps rejecting her advances. He describes himself as a loner. He describes himself as a rebel. And I'm like, dude, you're just a man-child. And if you're afraid you get a girlfriend, you'll mature out of this. And you'll probably go home and say, what a man-child dump. I gotta get rid of this stuff. And he comes in with that suit and tie. And now he's a grown-up and just an innocent. Well, that didn't happen, but it probably would have if he did hook up with Dottie, so that probably would have been the sequel. Pee-wee Herman becomes a grown, responsible adult. No, that would never happen. Okay. When he comes back to where his bike was, he only sees pieces of the chain, and the clown has now changed to like having an evil smile with the teeth no on. It's giving out a laugh as it's waving. Someone stole his bike, of course. But I'm actually amazed that no one saw it. Will you consider how much chain, a lot of the chain is even missing too, so this leads me to believe that the guy may have just gotten some of them off and then just took the whole thing with him, and then took the rest of the chain off when he got to his destination, because there's not that much chain up there. If there is, I guess I just wasn't paying much attention. He goes back, with that horn, and he goes, he honks it and knocks over a stack of bikes. He then goes looking for his bike. He sees it has an hallucination, but it turns in the reflection of a window. He turns with a person that does not have his bike, and he sees people enjoying bikes all over him. Even a remote control from a motorcycle goes by him. He goes to the police. The police officer tells him to trace his step, and then he finally remembers Francis. So he goes over to Francis' place with that evil music playing. He knocks on the door. That wrestler answers it. Now, this is what introduced me to him, because I saw him in so much stuff, but I didn't know he was a professional wrestler until I think like the late 90s. Until then, I thought he was just an actor who just appeared in movies from time to time as a tough guy. I saw him in this, The Running Man, 3 Ninja, and I think it was A Perfect Weapon. Yeah, but Professor, I know it's one, but I don't know how to say the rest of his name. Feel free to help me out later on if you ever make a YouTube video. Scott, his name is spoken like this. Now, say it right, okay? I will one of these days, but not right now. I just want to go on with the movie. Okay, Pee-wee knocks on the door, and he goes, I want to see Francis. He is busy. He goes, busy doing what? He's having his bath. Oh, really? Where are they closing him down? And then the guy shuts the door. knocks on it again, Megan, slams it, but then he does this clever trick where there's like a mechanical hand knocking on it, so when the guy like this, he sees it and he sees Pee-wee now in the house. Francis is not having a bath. He's in an indoor swimming pool. That is not a bath. He's even got swimsuits on, for crying out loud. He's basically revealing that he's a man as big as a man-child as Pee-wee, since he's in there playing with ships, acting like he's a sea monster. Pee-wee goes in there, and he just walks right into the pool, up to him, grabs him by his hair, and pulls him out. And then he locks the door, and then he jumps in, and they wrestle, and then his father's like, Francis, open the door, we're going to break it down. So he gets the butler to hit it, but then when Francis opens up, the butler goes right into the pool. His father lets Pee-wee know Francis has an alibi, but Pee-wee obviously is not happy with this whole shindig, so even though he does apologize and they shake hands, he still gets back at him a little bit by giving him the trick gun that he got at the magic store. This is the only time it's ever used. Francis just gets something that makes it look like his mouth is bleeding. His father gets stuff that's so hot that leaves you questioning, why is he keeping his mouth? Just spit it out, because considering how loud he was screaming, no, I would not keep that in my mouth. I would pull immediately. Well, Pee-wee and Donnie go put up a reward assigned for $10,000, whoever returns it, but Pee-wee believes whoever returns it is obviously the one who stole it. I wouldn't blame him that, we're there. And then he goes on the air, then you find out, okay, Francis hired a guy to take it, and then but unfortunately he's gotten the message Pee-wee's not going to give up until he gets it back, so that's when he decides, you know what, it's not worth it, so he just pays the guy to get rid of it. The guy takes an extra bonus and then puts him down as he's walking off with it. And then Pee-wee calls a meeting, but all he does is just drag time. But then he says one of my brother's favorite lines, something you care to share with the rest of us, Amazing Larry? My brother's always wanted to know, why is he Amazing Larry? What is it about him that makes him so amazing? I don't know. I think he's a used car salesman. I'm not sick, okay? So just don't get any concerned with all the coughing. That was not fake, I swear. Okay. Pee-wee then goes out looking for his bike again, but this time he goes to a fortune teller. But before he gets there, it's a dark and stormy night, and then they do that big shadow joke, where you think this colossal-like character's gonna show up. There's someone out there that's like freaking out, running for their life. But then, of course, it's just Pee-wee. And when he comes down, he gets attacked by a bunch of hoodlums. One of them is played by Tim Burton. He goes, "This is our turf. You're new around here." And they all run off. And he goes and sees the fortune teller. She's a fraud, obviously. She takes his wallet and keeps it without him realizing it. She tells him it's in the Alamo in the basement by doing nothing more than looking around at words that she sees. And when she has the wallet so she can see the bicycle. So she tells Pee-wee okay, I'm going to say it again. Is in the Alamo in the basement. He's now hitchhiking to get there. He gets picked up by a convict. The guy's only a fugitive because he tore one of those do not remove under penalty of law tags on a mattress. They did a joke like that in that U.S. Acres episode with Wade Duck. Oh, God. And then they did with those counting sheep commercial. I remember that. Okay. Pee-wee and the guy do not exactly bond too well, but they do get along for a while. But at night, whenever Pee-wee's now driving. Pee-wee sees all these road signs on the road, like first like this, then like this, and he's like driving, like trying to keep up with the pattern. It says, "Boy, what kind of road is this?" They go over the side of a cliff. They're screaming until the top of the Cadillac opens and becomes a parachute. And if that could happen in real life, I give you my word, anybody who owns a Cadillac would be doing that, because that would be so much fun. I would be doing that. You know how cool that would be? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, the guy kicks Pee-wee out, but he says the same thing to him that he said to Donnie, so he gets deja vu. Then we get to the animated Pee-wee Herman eyes that look like they're too spaced out to fit him, but that's part of the joke. He's out. You can't see anything except his eyes. He keeps hearing all these wild animal noises where they're spooking him. And this is when he finally uses the headlight glasses for this one scene. He clicks them on. He's surrounded by taxidermy animals, and I think some of them were real, I can't remember, but he just goes, "Ah!" and turns them off, and that's when the headlights for Diesel gentlemen. This is when my brother had some fun with me. This was the part of the movie that I hated when I was a kid. Probably many kids were like this. Large Marge. 41 minutes into the film, I think, is how long you have to wait for her to show up. Whenever she shows up, she picks Pee-wee up, she gives him this story about this accident that happened on this road, and whenever she does this, it looked like this. She turns that stop motion. Before this happened, when this was happening, I turned and looked at my brother. He had a pillow in his face, and when I turned back and when she went, boo, I screamed in terror, ran for my life down the hall, chasing after me, laughing, and oh God. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Mom, it was like, what is going on? I turned to brother and I pointed at him and I go, he tricked me into watching a scary scene. He was laughing at me. Oh goodness. Well, anyway. Oh, memories. The memories of when your older brother tricks you into watching something so he can laugh at you when you get scared. Yep, I got that. He has that memory with me. I don't have that memory with him. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Pee-wee then gets out of a truck stop. He lets them know Large Marge sent him. But they then let him know that she's dead, and that's when he realizes it was a ghost. He sees the memorial, and he basically gets dinner, but he doesn't have his wallet, so he has to wash dishes, and that's what introduced me to the whole issue of washing dishes if you can't pay for your food. And, well, after that, he then meets with that waitress. They go into this giant dinosaur. She tells him how she wants to move to Paris, but her boyfriend, Andy, doesn't want her to go, but Pee-wee tells her to fulfill her dream. Andy's eavesdropping, and, well, he goes and gets a dino bone off a sign, which I'm guessing is made out of plaster? Whatever it is. Excuse me again. Okay, we ate Hispanic food tonight, okay? So that's why I got a little burping and everything. Alright. Pee-wee runs for his life as Andy's trying to kill him with that bone. And he jumps onto a train, gets into a boxcar, and then he has a nightmare with a Tyrannosaurus Rex destroying his bike, a stop-motion Tyrannosaurus Rex destroying his bike. And then we meet the guy in there with him. This is what actually introduced me to sardines. I never saw this before until I saw this movie. And then when they're singing, Pee-wee can't take it anymore and jumps off, and he arrives by the Alamo. He goes there, and this movie also introduced me to the Alamo. And I live in Texas, and until I saw this movie, I never heard of the Alamo. I was there for a school field trip back in the 90s. That's like the only time I've ever been, but I've been there. And I don't remember a basement ever being there. Or seeing Pee-wee Herman's bike anywhere. You know, if they would have been there, you believe me, I would have ridden that thing no matter how much they would have screamed, get off of it. No! Oh man, that would have been so much fun. Of course, I would have been in serious trouble as well. But anyway, Pee-wee gets on the phone, calls Dottie. He does have to deal with Andy again, but this time he loses him posing as a cowboy, and when Andy recognizes him, the bull, however, looks at Andy, and Andy's got a red shirt on, so they're doing that old joke. So after that, Andy just disappears from the movie. That's the second antagonist in the film, and he's only in like 2 scenes. After that, Pee-wee, goes to a bar. He tries to use the phone, only he finds out this is a biker bar and they don't want him in there, but when he accidentally knocks over their bikes, they're getting ready to kill him, but then he dances to the song Tequila, and this is what introduced me to that song, as well as Elvira herself, but I didn't know it was her because she didn't have the wig with a wardrobe on. She was a completely different character. Well, after that, he then goes riding off on a motorcycle, but since he obviously doesn't know how to ride one, he just rides right into a sign and gets knocked out. He has another nightmare involving clowns, restoring his bike, and when a crane comes down to pick it up, you can easily tell the crane misses it completely, and yet somehow it's picked it up. Good thing it's a dream sequence, that's the only way it can make sense. He then sees Francis now as the devil. He gets launched to one of Boulder and Cauldron. He keeps going like this, and they're burning it. Everything. He wakes up, and when he wakes up, he sees his bike on TV. It's been donated to a movie studio, Warner Brothers, of course. So he's like, he gets out of that bed and just magically right over there in Hollywood. So his destination is to Texas, to Hollywood. Okay, now he infiltrates Warner Brothers. He finds out where the bike is. He takes the bike, and this is the best part of the movie to me, is whenever he's running from security for one of those electric go-karts that they have plugged in, like one on a bike, one on a motorcycle. He keeps ditching them, and they keep coming back. Sometimes he permanently ditches one. First, he ditches one go-kart, then he ditches all three of them. Then he ditches the bicycle guy, but not just ditching them. He more like gets rid of them when making them crash into stuff, except for the guy on the motorcycle. He's the only one that he ditches. Okay, yeah, the guy, and yet the thing is, the guy on the motorcycle and the guy on the bike, they're always side by side. I'm like, I think the motorcycle would be faster than the bicycle, so the fact that they're always side by side just makes no sense, but you just go with it. Yeah, it's a great chase sequence. Like I said, to me, it's the best part. And whenever you think he's gonna get away, a pet store's on fire, so he's got to save all the animals. And of course, we finally learn that Pee-wee has a problem with snakes. And when he realizes he has to save them, he comes out holding them, and he collapses. That would have been me with spiders, especially tarantulas. Pee-wee gets caught. He tells them everything, and they actually are more interested in making his story into a movie. He finally gets his bike back, and he's at the premiere of his film, which he embellished big time, and this is whenever I was introduced to James Brolin and Morgan Fairchild. This movie introduced him to me, and it also introduced me to Phil Hartman. Yeah, I didn't know who he was until like around the mid-90s, and then I was like, I had no idea I saw him in this movie, and whenever I was watching Pee-wee's Big Adventure, sometimes during the late 90s, when I saw him at the report, I'm like, that's Phil Hartman! And I didn't learn, of course, they were actually friends, but I didn't know about that information for many years. And he does get reunited with Francis again, but this time Francis obviously kills himself by pressing the seat ejector, which launches him into the air so high that I think he's dead. There's no way he's surviving that unless he landed on something very, very soft. It ends with Pee-wee and Donnie just riding off together, probably telling us that they did become a couple, and obviously Pee-wee is no longer a man-child. Well, so much for the man cave, or should I say the man-child cave. You know, if he's not going to be living in that house anymore, I would have gladly taken it. Okay, man, I think I was still 4 when I saw this movie, so his home would have been a paradise for me. Okay, Pee-wee's Big Adventure is awesome. 4 stars all the way, 2 thumbs way up, and I'm going to say it's my favorite film of 1985. I love this movie, and I was not happy when I found out that Paul Reubens passed away a couple of years ago. It was either, I can't remember if it was 2022 or 2023, but when I woke up, I immediately got on Facebook. Usually that's a routine of mine, and then I saw that he passed away, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I was really not happy about that, because I did grow up with this guy, and I always thought that incident that happened with him back in the early 90s, where he got arrested, where everybody was making a big deal out of something that was no big deal. Oh, excuse me again. So apparently all those bozos forgot that he was an adult entertainer before he did Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He was in Cheech and Chong's next movie saying the F word, for crying out loud. So yeah, talk about overreacting. Now, Paul Reubens, if you can hear me now, I appreciate your movie, and I did watch your show, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Pee-wee's Playhouse. My nephew got introduced to you, and he's a fan too, and may you rest in peace. Amen. And happy 40th anniversary to your film, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I'll never forget you, man.